Hey everyone, welcome to the Trade Life podcast by Projekt Network with your host Ian MacFayden. We are about to start on episode 3 of a 3-part series. If you haven't listened to episodes 1 and 2, I highly recommend that you go back and you start there to ensure that you get the full context of what we're going to be talking about here. This episode covers lessons learned from the previous years. So to really get the most benefit, you're going to want to understand where we're taking the lessons from. Enjoy.
Yeah. But I think coming and like it was like the culmination of a bunch of things happening at the same time. Like who could have predicted a pandemic?
Yeah.
We had, like you said, one really difficult client, which was also a very good learning experience. And then realizing, that we had made the wrong decision on panelization, offsite construction for what we were doing.
Yeah.
So it was this culmination of this perfect storm. But coming out the other side, we still, and I think that speaks to the power of a brand.
Yeah.
And the promise of that brand, and also the importance, and this is where, you took it to another level, is the importance of process.
Yeah.
And we've reassessed, redone contracts.
Yeah.
We've pretty much put SOPs, and here I'm going to give a shout out to Dave O, because he's been phenomenal here, where we've put SOPs on, SOPs, standard operating procedures, which is kind of like, okay, this process from A to Z, or Z for our American audience here, is done like this. That's what your standard operating procedure is. And in my mind, we did that also to ensure that there was a predictable outcome.
Yeah.
For every step of when somebody deals with Hummingbird Hill. That was huge.
Yeah.
So I think you go through that shit.
Yeah.
And if you can get to the other side, there's some incredibly important life lessons.
Yeah.
Business lessons, just good lessons in general.
We learned a lot. I aged rapidly during those couple years. But the SOPs, I think were critical. We looked back and we assessed. I think the contract was the big one coming out of the lawsuit with the homeowner, where we completely redid our contract.
Yeah.
We changed our payment terms. We changed how we handle money. We changed our sales process, and we had these sort of instances during the sales process where we started discussing, where it was like, if this happens, we're not doing the job. Like there was these certain things where there's certain clauses where we are not removing that clause. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I don't care if it makes you uncomfortable. We're not doing that job because it makes us more uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Again, the exposure that we have as a builder is greater in a lot of instances than the homeowner. Sometimes the homeowner is a lot more risk, depending if you get like a really bad contract. But we did a contract that is balanced for the homeowner and us, with a couple of very key protections in place for us.
Yeah.
To ensure that kind of thing didn't happen again.
Yeah. And I think for trades that are watching this, that point of, you really do want to, have a strong sense of, what your mission is, what your vision, your culture, and when you do that, you are going to have a pretty good sense, and we all have this, but you're going to have a pretty good sense of who are your clients and who are not your clients.
Yeah.
And it's, Murphy's Law, you always get the, who should not be your client when business is slow and it's tempting, and you're looking at it and you're thinking, oh, I need the business. This, maybe we can kind of be flexible with these types of terms. And I think that going through all of that shit was an incredibly important and expensive lesson for us to realize that even if you're getting those red flags, that this client is not going to be your client.
Yeah.
There's some red flags.
Yeah.
It is less expensive, and it's hard, but it's less expensive to say, thanks, but no thanks, and walk away from that and leave that space for someone that will come, and it will be your client. It'll be your type of client.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you got to know when to say no.
Yeah,
for sure.
And we didn't have that discipline in the beginning.
No,
we're saying
just
yes
like
to everybody.
Jobs, sure. Yeah. You're gonna pay us to do stuff. That sounds great.
Yeah.
And that was that for sure. So I mean, coming out of it, the lessons we learned, that we did a full 180, I think, in the way we ran the company and the way we structured things. And I mean, going back to sort of the culture that we built, and like Sandra and Kyle, and Sandra went through a lot of the shit with us. She was heavily involved in some of that stuff. So she had a ton of learning through it as well. So getting everyone on board with like, we need to change and like implement these processes, there was no pushback because everyone was like, yes, I agree.
Yeah,
like that.
Totally.
Let's make sure that never happens again.
Yeah. And I think ultimately it's better for clients, right? Yeah. Because, I think they now, when they deal with Hummingbird Hill, there is a predictable outcome. Yeah. There's a process driven around, how do we do this as effectively and efficiently as possible?
Yeah.
And there's like checklists and processes built to ensure that's the outcome.
Yeah.
So ultimately it's made us a better company. Yeah. But I think it's also, added a lot of benefit to our clients.
I think exactly. I think it helps the sales process, and we get better quality work now.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah, totally.
I think on the process front, just to touch really quickly on that, I think having the standard processes for the predictable outcome, it really starts with the systems that you're on, right? Like you have to have some sort of robust system. You cannot run a company like this out of Microsoft Excel. Like you just can't, right? Yeah. I think when we started, you were on Builder Trend. And then I switched us over to Co-Construct, which was okay, not great. And then we jumped into BIM 360, which was an Autodesk product, which was super powerful, fucking overkill for what we needed. My God, like if you were building a hospital or something, that's probably a fantastic program.
Yeah.
Don't get it if you're a builder like us, or smaller. We ended up on Smart Sheets, which is I don't know how to describe it. It's almost like it's like an online Excel, but that has like a whole bunch of file management and like Gantt charts and stuff kind of built into it, so you can build out dependencies. I built out basically our entire system within there. I took kind of the best of Co-Construct and BIM and put it into that. I won't suggest to anybody that they need to go out and build their own thing. I would say don't do that. I had a particular skill set that I was pretty good at doing that and sort of thinking through that. I like Builder Trend is a great product on the market right now. Co-Construct, which Builder Trend now owns, I think is a slightly more cost-effective one. And there's a ton of others. There's like Monday.com, there's Rike, there's like
Procore.
Procore is really expensive, but that's like, that's probably even too robust for us.
Yeah.
But Procore is like a fantastic platform. So there's a lot of options out there, but like you need to invest in some sort of project management and budget management program, right? Because we've got all our systems. Like the schedule is the easy one, right? But like update your schedule. Make sure you're contacting trades. Make sure your dependencies are set so that everything. And then you need like change order management.
Yeah.
You need to be projecting and forecasting cost for your clients, right? You need to make sure that you're billing accurately. You need to make sure that progress draws are where they need to be.
Yeah.
You need to make sure that if you, like we implemented a whole bunch of points along the road where originally it was me and then it was Kyle, or me and Kyle, and now it's just Kyle and Jeff up here responsible for, like you can't move on to the next phase until you have one of these people come and sign off that this particular thing is done, right? And there's a couple of them. We've got the soil bearing capacity under our footings has to happen. We'll dive into these more specifically just off the top of my head. We've got top of foundation wall is one, because we've been fucking bit by that before too, when a surveyor screwed up a number. We've got the water management, so making sure that the building and assembly is sealed and closed, because that one's bit us in the ass a couple times, not even from an air standpoint, but somebody mistaped something or didn't get taped properly, and then you start getting water into the house, and you're just like, where is that water coming from?
Yeah.
And anybody that's dealt with water coming into a structure, Godspeed.
No bueno.
No bueno, and like good luck trying to find it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's a nightmare, and it can cost a lot of money, and it's not a good look, right? Like that's not going to get you repeat work. So putting a lot of those and implementing a lot of those processes, I think was definitely critical in sort of being able to take us to the next level and really grow and minimize warranty costs. Like I haven't mentioned warranty costs yet. And again, this is going to be a more in-depth one of talking about warranty costs, but like we budget for warranty costs because we're at a scale now where it just happens, and there's a level of customer service where like, no, that's on us. We're not going to force the client to pay for shit that we fucked up. Right? Yeah. We work with our trades depending on who screwed it up. We've been able to foster really good trade relationships because we don't always throw the trade under the bus.
Yeah.
Like, it's not always the trade's fault. Sometimes it's ours, and we
got to eat it.
We got to eat it, right? And like we carry a budget line, and it's something like $150,000 a year that we budget for warranty costs, right? Yeah. And it's baked into our projections, and it's like we use it.
Yeah,
it happens, right? Like as long as we don't go over that, then whatever, we've planned for it. But you got to plan for what, because it's going to happen.
Yeah, I almost, for me, because I'm looking at things kind of, higher levels, more strategically, it's because when I look at a lot of trades that we work with, a lot of builders, by and large, the vast majority have processes that still enforce this reactionary mode where you're reacting to what's coming at you, right? Yeah. And I think what we've been able to do, not perfectly, but by and large, is flip that so that we are being as proactive as possible in an environment that is not entirely controllable, right? Which is what we're doing. So it's been really interesting to watch the evolution of that. And I am now building my own place here in Muskoka. And so I'm getting to kind of like live through this firsthand as well. Shout out to Jeff Costa. We haven't mentioned Jeff enough.
Yeah, we're going to jump to Muskoka after this. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Do you want me to hold off, or do you want me to?
No,
I'll just finish this point. Is now like when we're building for clients, and part of our culture is to 100% genuinely do what's in the best interest of our clients. Whenever there's a decision to be made, we will always fall back on what is in the best interest of the client here, and do that, but do it as proactively as possible. Yeah. And I think clients appreciate that, right? Our industry is not known to be great communicators. Yeah. The schedules, you hear horror stories around schedules taking twice as long and budgets being twice as expensive.
Or the schedule just not getting updated.
Yeah.
Heard that one a couple times.
Yeah. And I think it's unfortunately businesses or trades that have their processes are stuck in this kind of very reactionary kind of mindset and operation. Yeah. So I will say, the changes that we've made coming from all those shit years is really kind of just generally getting us to be more proactive in everything that we do, as much as humanly possible.
Yeah, 100%. And again, tying that back to the SOPs, we've got monthly reports, we've got bi-weekly updates. Yeah. They're standard. Every homeowner and architect gets the exact same sort of program, right? Obviously customized to whatever the project is, and it's a known entity. It tells them decisions they have to make. It kind of holds the entire team accountable. And I think the early conversations we have with homeowners is that we are your construction manager, but this whole thing's a team.
100%.
Right? Like
it's a great point. Yeah. And I think, that was another thing that we've really fostered is the whole concept around integrated project team. Yeah. And because again, I see tons of trades and builders that they are more than happy to throw the architect under the bus if there's a detail missing or something doesn't make sense, which is inevitable in custom. And I think we've fostered a culture around the integration of a team, which is homeowner always is the center of this, us as the builder, the architect that's involved, the consultants, the structural engineer, the mechanical engineer, the interior designer, like there is a team. And when you can, as the builder, because I like to tell clients it's kind of like a football analogy where the pre-construction phase is very important to us, and we want to be as prepared as possible. But it's really the architect, by and large, is the quarterback there, and we have a role to play. But then when the construction starts, when shovel goes in the ground, we're now the quarterback. But the team hasn't changed. It's just a little bit of the roles have changed, right? And so I find that is like, that's been great because if you start pointing fingers and saying it's this person's fault or it's this person's fault, the client doesn't care. At the end of the day, you know, whose fault it is if there's a change order that's costing them money or costing them time. So I just find it's way more effective to approach the project as an integrated team.
Yeah, absolutely. And to kind of cap that whole thing off, and then we're going to step back a second and talk about Muskoka. To cap that all off, we fucking rock right now. Right? Like we're
not perfect.
We're not perfect, but my God, we have learned the lessons and we've put the shit in place. And we've got I would put our team ahead of any other team that I've ever met. And I think it's because we've built that, we've weeded out the bad hires. I mean, the way that hiring happens in the industry, it is very hard to get quality people.
Speaking of,
there's El Jefe Costa just walked in. We're still shooting. You can be here, just be quiet. I might leave that in. We'll see what happens. What was I saying? We're the best, basically. The hiring, that's what I was talking about. The hiring in this industry is an incredible challenge, and we'll talk about that a little bit more when we go into some of the Projekt Network stuff. But we've had a lot of bad hires, right? And it was being able to pull the plug, and we've experienced the costs associated with the bad hires, and it's like using Indeed is fucking garbage. But like, what else do you do? And like, unless your buddy knows somebody that they're going to recommend, there's no other useful avenue to recruiting talent in this industry.
Which is the standard in our industry is you need to hire somebody, you go to Indeed.
You go to Indeed or like, I mean, you first canvass your network. Does anybody know anybody? But like, I don't know, in our industry anyways, and in sort of the custom part, it's everybody's good has a job already, right? Like it takes some time. But so through a lot of those experiences and through a lot of that learning, we built a fantastic team that, you know, I'll say again, like I would put up against any other team in the industry. So now stepping back, got to go back a couple years here now. Like we're sitting in front of this map on the wall here. You can't see all of it, but these are the Muskoka Lakes. So we're actually up here sitting in the Port Carling office of Hummingbird Hill, Muskoka. So I think take us through that and sort of I guess at high level, you saw an opportunity up in Muskoka. I didn't really know much about it. But you said, I think we should expand up to Muskoka, and we kind of talked about it. It was like, oh, I don't know, like, what are we going to do? Right. We had some of those things that we shouldn't rehash now, but like around the GTA and running it, and like, what would that do with you and all that kind of stuff? But yeah, walk us through that.
Yeah, it was really sort of, you know, having a number of clients, both homeowners and architects, continually ask, you know, do you guys service Muskoka? Because they were kind of looking for our processing and capabilities up here. And so, you know, we started with a couple of projects, and you know, as I started to really look at the opportunity up here, I realized, you know, there's you know, a great market that fits what our brand kind of represents and brings to the table. And the demand started to build, and it wasn't until and he just walked in. I'm almost tempted to like get him to come over here so he can show his face.
And just wave.
Hefe.
Well, Hefe.
Come for this little.
Come here. We might edit this out, but I probably won't.
No, we'll keep this in.
No, we're gonna keep it in. Yeah. You just gotta come and like.
I'm gonna sit right here.
Come sit right here.
So when this is Jeff Costa and his brother.
You can sit on my lap if you want.
His brother is Mike Costa. When we met these guys, and they were introduced to us through one of our site supers, Dave Veach, and we got to know Jeff specifically and started having kind of conversations around. He was running a carpentry firm, and then when we started having conversations around, I really want to focus on Muskoka and the market up here, and I'm willing to move. My kids are older. I love it up here. I've always loved it up here. So I wanted to sort of do call it second half of my career and live in Muskoka. And I was talking to this guy, and somehow you and I convinced him to join Hummingbird.
I don't know how we did that, but
yeah. And so I think that's
wasn't
been
much to convince.
Yeah.
Joining a great team. So
and I think that's been the catalyst for us is, again, back to the conversation around attracting great people that fit the culture. Just awesome dude. I'll say this even if he wasn't here, right? Not only is he amazing.
We're going to shit talk you, but then you walk.
Yeah. He's an amazing carpenter. His brother is also an amazing carpenter. And so Jeff now has become sort of the operations side of things.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like replicating what we did in the city.
Yeah.
And now all the site supers and carpenters report into Jeff.
Yeah.
And we've got the systems, we've got the processes in place to kind of take what we've built and now, apply that to the Muskoka region. So
yeah, exactly. It was taking the processes of Hummingbird, teaching them to Jeff, and then taking Jeff's unique knowledge of the Muskoka market and the specific concerns here.
Yeah.
Talk about blasting and like snow removal and shit. We don't deal with that in the city.
It's a different world.
We had to adjust some
world.
things, right? The market with trades up here too is a lot more like insular, like it's a lot more relationship based than in the city, right? So it was, and you had a lot of those relationships and you were able to foster and kind of manage those and navigate them. And it's,
so
it's been amazing.
You're good, buddy.
You could, we'll let you go because you're just you look awkward. Also, I'm gonna have you on the podcast at some point in the future, but we'll actually mic you up and we'll figure out what to talk about. Maybe we'll talk carpentry or
what's our carpentry
or growing a small business or something.
Just don't compliment. We'll be all right.
There's no promises there.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, but I think again it goes back to you got to surround yourself with amazing people.
Yeah.
If you really want to, build a company, build a brand, surround yourself with people that can do the job way better than you can for what you need and et cetera. So yeah, we've been growing like gangbusters in Muskoka, thankfully, and build some really cool cottages. You can't even call them cottages on the lakes here.
Haciendas.
Yeah.
Compounds. Yeah, they're brilliant.
Yeah. But and I think in my mind, it's like, okay, we've got the process, we've got the systems in place. We've now proven that we can take that to another market. Yeah, and it works. So in my mind, it's like, man, where do you go next?
Yeah, exactly. And like the GTA we grew and it's been kind of stable for a couple of years. We're decently big in the GTA, so there's not a ton of room to grow down there anyways. But yeah, up here how long have we been up here now? 3-4 years? Something like
I mean, when the first boathouse we did was like 19. So we've been up here like 6 years. Yeah. But not, I moved up here a couple of years ago. Yeah. It's been a couple of years. I've lost track of time.
I want to say 4 years that we've been like dedicated, full-time up here. Yeah. Yeah. And it's been growing and doing really well. And there's room to grow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's happening. So all that brings us to what we're doing now, right? And kind of what spurred on this podcast, because we didn't start a podcast just so that we can talk about Hummingbird. I mean, that'd be pretty cool. Get one episode out of it. But it brings Projekt Network, right? Projekt Network was, I like to run, as you know, I'm a trail runner. I do ultra marathons and stuff, so I'm often just out running in the woods, and it's sort of like my moving meditation. It's probably the only time ever in my life that my mind can just kind of wander, right? Like there's no distractions. I don't take my phone with me. I'm just kind of out there by myself with my own thoughts.
What's the longest run you've done so far?
So 100K. That's the longest I've finished. Yeah, I did the QMT last year, which was 135, but I DNF'd, which did not finish at 80 because my intense up and down, and my quads just blew up. I couldn't move my legs, so I had to call it. I'm going back this year. Redemption.
But you've done 100K.
I've done 100.
And completed a 100K race.
Yes.
Yeah. This was phenomenal.
Yeah. And then a couple 80s, and then I don't know, 10 50s or something like that.
Anyway, sorry, sidetrack.
Yeah. I run a lot, essentially, is what we're good at. And on these runs, I often think, and I've been thinking about for a long time, just the nature of the sort of like digital connections within the skilled trades. And I remember I came to you guys, we were building out, we were finalizing some of the smart sheet stuff, and I was like, we got to build a new ERP system. And we started looking at it, and I was like, no, that's a stupid idea. That's kind of a really crowded space. Because we had built some pretty good processes, and we were pretty proud of what we had built out, but it's such a crowded space. And as I said earlier, like there's a lot of good products out there. And one of the things that we kept talking about with the ERP system, it was like, wouldn't it be cool though if we could like create some way of like making recruiting easier? Because the recruiting in the skilled trades is an absolute nightmare. Anybody that's done it themselves, I think, can attest to that. Watching Leanne recruit for carpenter, and she gets like 400 resumes on Indeed, and like how fucking useless 390 of them are.
Yeah.
But you have to read through them and scan them, and then the 10 that look decent, you have no way of validating.
Yeah.
You have no way of knowing, because it's just some like written words. It's just like, you call some people in, you hire, of 10 people that you hire, maybe one or two of them ends up being good and with you a year or two out.
Right.
Like it's so hard to find good quality talent. So watching her go through that whole thing, my experiences with it early as we were starting the company really got me thinking about, there's got to be a better way to do this, right? And then we started going down that pathway and building out sort of like a recruiting platform. But we kept coming to this idea of like, how do we populate the recruiting platform, right? And I'll shamelessly say like, we looked at LinkedIn, because I think LinkedIn is a pretty valuable tool, but it's built it's so purpose built, and it was originally built for white collar people to connect, right? Like there's nothing about it that is curated for the skilled trades.
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of took that, and I use a program called Strava, which is for it's a fitness thing where people can like post the runs and bikes and whatever that they do. And then Reddit is out there, and then like Instagram's so popular, right? But pretty useless from a development standpoint and connections. We took a lot of those things and we kind of smashed them together with this idea of, and it kind of grew into this sort of idea that Projekt Network was going to become a digital tool, and the digital tool to connect the skilled trades, right? And recruiting has actually become, it's sort of like the underpin, but it's not the thing that Projekt Network is. Projekt Network has become, and what we hope it to be, is a community. It's an online community where people go on and they can share projects, they can mentor, there's forums, there's a portfolio management system. So everyone can go in and you can like manage your portfolio of projects, right? Post pictures, people can comment, interact, and keep it all organized, right? Make the connections the same. You can collaborate with people on a project. So I mean, if anybody that logs in and sees, and they get an automatic friend request from me, because where we're at, like that's just an automatic connection request that's going to happen as a CEO, because I want to make sure that everybody's onboarding is seamless. If you go in and you look at my projects, the ones I posted, they're all recent projects of me building my cabin, and El Jefe Grande over there has been he's been spearheading it. He's been kicking ass. So I've added him as a collaborator. I can post all those pictures all I want. I did not build that thing by myself. Nobody in the trades does anything by themselves, unless you're like one of these unicorn, like people that hate people. Like I've met a couple that are actually really skilled, but they are rare. most people work with other people. There's always collaborators on projects. So that is a way to share the project with other people. And also if you are in a recruiting situation, like we can go and then we can look and we can assess somebody and see sort of proof that they have actually done this work. To collaborate with somebody, the other person has to accept that collaboration request. So it creates sort of like a two-sided endorsement for, yeah, I mean, I'm sure you're familiar with endorsements in LinkedIn, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like, hey,
Mm-hmm.
can you endorse my Excel skills?
Yep.
No, I mean, you've seen me do Excel, but like, you don't have to do anything. You just go endorse. Like, yes, you've got great Excel skills, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is intended to be a lot more robust around like actually verifying the work that they've done. The forums, I think we've talked a lot about the forums. I think we see a lot of value in the forums. I think there's a lot of good stories and there's a lot of good lessons in the skilled trades that people can share. And that kind of fed into why we started this podcast, but we want to make sure that those conversations happen and that people share their knowledge and they share tips and tricks. And I mean, Reddit has some pretty strong forums, but like they can be fully anonymous. There's no connections related to anything on that. So it's like shamelessly like steal a level of like the Reddit forums, but add the Strava club aspect into it where you can join a specific forum or a club and you know who you're talking to. It's real people. You can click in and you can see what their experience is. So it's not just some like rando with a crazy ass name making a comment on your stuff, right? To really make sure that there's an open conversation happening. And yeah, so I mean, I don't know if you want to add anything to it.
Yeah, I think maybe I think it's important for people to understand that like this is, you're working now on Projekt Network full time. So you've taken Hummingbird processes to a point where, now we've got people that are executing. That's all established. Projekt Network really is, something that you're focused on full time. And if you look at it and you're sort of, this has been built out of, in a lot of ways, your experience. You talked about your experience and being stuck and not having a network. And as like, I look at it around the skilled trades industry for the first time in my lifetime, I think is getting a lot of attention from the government in the US, the government in Canada, around, the importance of skilled trades. We've got this AI, monster that's coming towards us. And I think now for the first time, the younger generations are starting to look at skilled trades and thinking, this might be, a viable option for me for the first time, I think, and which is awesome. And if you look at it, the skilled trades industry, I was looking at something recently. The North American skilled trades market is something like $2.6 trillion and is to increase by $1 trillion in the next 10 years. Like it is a massive, massive market. It's a massive growing market. And it's amazing to me that we don't have, a platform to be able to connect as a group of skilled trades, right? To your point, to learn from, to collaborate with, to find opportunities. There's going to be so much demand for the skilled trades, and connecting the opportunities to the actual people is really, I think, an important part of Projekt Network. And I think why, you're spending 100% of your time now on this platform. So I think, I'm obviously still involved with Hummingbird and the operations up in Muskoka, but just being a part of the launch of Projekt Network, I've started to use it as a platform. To kind of build that network of skilled trades people up here.
You've been connecting with trades on it. I've been seeing it. It's a really cool use case.
Absolutely. connected with a trade for my own house on
Nice.
Projekt Network.
Yeah.
I posted jobs. We're looking for carpenters. So any carpenters watching this, please
Yeah.
apply
Yeah.
through Projekt Network. So yeah, I can already see the usefulness of this platform,
Yeah.
to both connect, but learn and sort of realize the opportunities that are out there.
Yeah, and that's super well said. And I think just kind of to close this off, because we've been going pretty long here, I'll probably have to cut this into 2 or 3 episodes. But I think to piggyback off what you said about the size of the industry, 2.6 trillion, or it's going to expand to like 3.5 or something by like 2030, something like that. And it's the only large industry in the entire world that does not have a dedicated professional development platform, like online. Like it's the only one, right?
Yeah.
Like, so everyone knows LinkedIn, like that's a big one, everything. But even underneath that, like developing world, developers, like people that do coding and stuff, they've got GitHub, right? I've never been on GitHub, don't know exactly how it works, but that's their like tool, right?
Yeah.
The medical establishment has something called like Doc6 or something. I've just heard about it recently, but they've got a dedicated thing, right? Every other major industry has some sort of dedicated platform just for them. The skilled trades have nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing's ever been built for the skilled trades, right? Once again, it's this industry that's just kind of been left behind and like thought of as like second fiddle, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're really hopeful, right? And see a huge potential in the power of this network and really bringing people together. We've got a couple of really great partnerships set up already that I mean they'll be recorded in the next episode, so listen to the next episodes and you'll find out who they are. But we've got some really sort of influential people that already have signed on and believe in what we're doing, and we really think right now our number one goal is just spreading the word, right?
Yeah.
But we want to really build this platform more than anything into something that curates and fosters professional development, connections, and trade advocacy, right? Like we want more young kids into the trades. The skilled trade shortage is real.
Oh, totally.
Right. And as AI displaces office workers, more and more people hopefully are going to be turning to the skilled trades as a viable career opportunity.
Yeah.
And we want to be the platform that they turn to for connections, right? And to have that community and have it a robust community. So I think we leave it at that for the first episode.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And we'll, I don't know. We'll have you on again, because I think we're going to do a sales and marketing one. That's going to be primarily you, but just talk about like the importance of that and how people first starting out on their own should think about it and how they should approach it. Some resources that they can look into, all that kind of stuff. But for now, yeah, I mean, thanks for listening. Hopefully people listen to this more than just like my mom and 4 other people. We'll see what happens, right?
Yeah.
Like hopefully this becomes a valuable podcast as well.
Yeah. Rock and roll.
Yeah. Aaron, thanks for being on.
Yeah.
We'll chat more.
I'm honored to be the first guest.
Awesome. Thanks, buddy.